Hey everybody, I wanted to do a quick video that I wish I had had access to when I was looking for an enclosed trailer that is going to tell you a few things to look for if you're looking at these trailers and a few points of comparison. These are both 2020 or 2021 trailers. One is the Homesteader's Challenger and this is Interstate's Victory. They're both 6x12 trailers, and I've been using the Interstate, borrowing it from my school for the past 3 or 4 years, and I just got the Homesteader. And having looked at both trailers, they're comparable to one another, but at the end of the day, I would choose the Interstate with a few different options, and I'll explain why in this video. First of all, one of the things I was looking for was the rounded steel roof. Mainly, my biggest fear is leaks. I'm going to be keeping my art and a lot of very delicate and expensive gear, and leaks are my #1 enemy, and so I wanted the round roof. And if you look at the two of these, the Interstate is one continuous piece of steel with a very clean seam up towards the front, and when you compare that to the Homesteader, it is multiple pieces. They've got the one piece of steel and the edges over there, so they had to seal an entire rectangle around the top. One of the other things that I'm noticing is that while the materials of both of these trailers are very similar in quality, the actual construction is not. I'm in Tennessee, by the way, and Homesteader trailers are made here, whereas Interstates, as I understand it, are made in Texas. And as much as I wanted my Homestead trailer to come in first place, it just doesn't. But let me go up and show you in terms of construction. My understanding is that they're using Sikaflex self-leveling adhesive on this, because I called them because it has a gap right here that was, I think, leaking inside the cab, and I'll show you that in a minute in terms of looking. And just having a seal is one more thing to worry about, you know, compared to the Interstate that is one solid piece. And then you look at the way these guys sealed this, and it's just really, really poorly done. To me, it looks like they just grabbed, you know, some homeless man at a stoplight and said, "Hey, come build some trailers for us." And like they had never done it before. I shouldn't have said homeless man, but maybe I should have said 15-year-old kid. Somebody inexperienced who just, you know, doesn't care. And I'm worried about these screw holes, and I do think I'm going to need to reseal these and maybe even put a coat of that RV roof paint on this. But that, in my judgment, is the biggest downfall to the Homesteader, as cool as it is with the logo that kind of reminds me of Metallica. Now, I showed you that leak up in the top, and let me show you, no matter what trailer you're looking for, the first thing I noticed when I went in is a moldy spot on the floor. And that's a telltale sign of a leak. And even on trailers like the Interstate, they have that seam up between the nose and the rest of the roof, and that is a really common place for them to leak. And no matter what trailer you're looking at, that's a great way to look for leaks, or water stains on the floor. Hey, while we're in here in the Homesteader, this is something nice. They do come with these built-in hold downs on the floor, and there are 4 of those. That's kind of a nice perk. And this one also came with the vents. And I'll say this, the one drawback about, in terms of that Interstate trailer is that it gets so hot. And I think that's a couple different things. Number 1, it's a dark color on the outside. Number 2, no vents. And so having the 2 vents, one up top and one on the bottom, opposite sides, makes a huge difference. And so this one being white, and maybe even having these white edges, when I walked in it for the first time, it was sitting out in a field in Georgia, you know, in the beginning of May, and I was expecting it to be an absolute hot box, and I was shocked at how cool it was inside the trailer. So, you know, if I could have my druthers, as they say, I would get an Interstate trailer, white, with vents, and then probably paint the top of it white if heat is an issue for you. There's some other, you know, things like the Interstate rides about 1.5 inches higher than my other one, so I could actually pull this one up my driveway. This one I could not, and I'm really bummed. I just went to turn it around on the curb by hand, and I caught the the grass on the side, and the Homesteader does have a lower point of entry, but for some people maybe that is a pro. Also, when you go on the inside with the construction, the Homesteader has thinner tubing, but it does appear to be, you know, solid all the way around, whereas the Interstate, what do you call these, ribs or joists? They do feel a little bit stronger. And other little things in terms of construction, I don't know, maybe that'll help. This thing, which I think is a anti-condensation thing, it's nice and tight up against the roof. You come down to the Homesteader, and maybe it's because of that leak I showed you, but it's like, you know, saggy. And, you know, just some other details like that. It does feel like the Interstate had better workers, better craftsmen who were assembling it. One other thing I might point out, this is kind of nice. The Homesteader comes with this little extra flap that if, you know, you're dollying things up and down with casters that are heavy, the lower gate and the little flap might make it easier for that. So if you have questions, you can ask them in the comments. I don't want to take too much longer here, but they're very similar trailers. I went with the Homesteader because I got a great deal on it. It's a 2021, and here we are in 2024. And so it was a lot cheaper because it had been sitting on the lot, and then I had that leak, which I'm willing to fix. And so it came down. And so I think in today's prices, I got this trailer for $3,800, $3,600, something like that, you know, new, even though it's a 2021. And I think this trailer today is more like between $5,000 and $6,000. So, you know, you'd pay a lot more for this. I did save a little bit of money, but I'm willing to put the work in to kind of reseal that roof and to make it solid. But those are a few things that I think are worth looking for. Everything else on these two trailers, you know, roughly the same tires and wheels, appears to be the same quality of welds in the frame, very similar styles of jack and tongue and plugs and all that. So, all right, that's all I got for now. But in conclusion, as I said in the beginning, if I could pick any trailer, I would go Interstate in the color white with the vents, and that would be the better trailer of the two in my judgment. Everything else is about the same in terms of thickness of plywood and such. All right, hopefully you guys found this helpful, and let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and I'll try to answer. Thanks a lot.